incentivize the a matching requirement, but yes, I think it's important that we do bring other people to the table to be part of that discussion. But yeah, this is our yearly application for McVie dollars, and right, there is the matching program that we are looking into for sure to get that number back up to what it needs to be.
Bill, is that something you could report back to the committee at our next
Sure.
meeting?
I have a question. I was wondering who put the federal local grants, because I think there are federal dollars that come into our state that do not go through state agencies. And so the example was the federal Head Start and Early Head Start. But I was also thinking about for tribes that are in the geographic bounds of Oregon, they're also receiving federal grants. And so I'm not sure how we might, I know Pauline is representing one tribe, but then I'm just kind of curious if there are other funds there that we should be aware of as this group, and thinking about supporting tribes as well.
Bring it down.
Gwen, what would be nice is to know all the different funding streams that touch home visiting. And I mean, I guess we could start with all the state agencies and then go beyond that to the region and to the local level. But that would be a great resource for us to have that.
You're talking about
put something similar into on the sticky about, I also want to know the ratio of private public funding, and really curious about what other states are doing. So we have some sort of roadmap that can support.
So Peter, can you catch us up for those of us who just joined you?
It's so good to see you.
Thank you.
So what we have is where folks are looking at these three categories of potential funding streams. Are you on the Jamboard with us, Sue? I don't know if you.
No.
The three columns are potential funding streams, next steps, both short term and longer term, and committee rules and supports needed. Those are the three categories. And so the discussion quickly went to discussion of federal matching grant programs that we haven't accessed before. And Pamela said that she will be able to report back to us on that before the next committee. We really need to investigate all the federal grant possibilities, and we just hit on a discussion, and Kelly had questions about kids there a way we can get clarity on everybody in terms of what every agency does in terms of their funding sources as in regard to home visiting, which came to the idea of a roadmap. Is it possible to get a roadmap for all funding sources for home visiting? And I was expecting Ron to volunteer to create that roadmap, but he hasn't done it yet, so I'm not sure if that's gonna how that exactly is going to come about. So that's where we are with it.
Oh, thank you. And now I see the Jamboard. Thanks, Kelly. Or Kelly, yes.
So we only have a minute left. About any other quick thoughts for any next steps in terms of funding and advocacy?
I'm working on putting another one in, and this has to do with next steps around workforce. What we hear a lot is sort of one program gets an increase for compensation. You know, we see home visitors move to that program, and then next biennium, another program gets a bump. And so I don't have a good sense. I know where the programs that are in DELC are at with kind of like their wage and compensation work, but I'm not sure across the whole system how far off we are in alignment, and like what is the gap we're trying to actually fill or move towards, I guess, as a benchmark. So some of that helps me understand like the funding
right
I'll put it
And
in.
also where the locus of control over wages is. So for example, in public health, each county develops their own compensation structure for their employees. And so any county employee would be subject to that. And the ability of the state to be able to influence that is a little bit harder, but I think knowing that is really helpful in identifying where some challenges and opportunities might be.
Wow, good point.
That's a great point. Yeah, our hub did a survey of all the early childhood providers in our region, and you can see that, Gwen. You can just see the smaller centers all the way up to the Head Start. You can just see the flow of the workforce over time goes to Head Start because they can pay the most.
And when we have some providers, you know, in community that have like 5 grants from multiple agencies, they're sometimes unable to implement some of those compensation increases because not all are working at the same pace.
Yeah, that's a great point. Well, thank you all for this is just the start of the discussion. Thank you for rolling with it as we work out the technology and figure out what we're going to do. So see you back in the big room.
Negotiate technological difficulties. Next time, I'm sure it will all go very, very smoothly. And we will definitely reach out to you with some more next steps and follow-up. So apologies for that sort of bumpy small group session. We will get it down in the future. All right, I think I'm going to turn it over at this point to Peter to close us out and wrap us up. Because we have 1 minute left. I know each group wanted to have time to share out, so I don't know if there's anything you want to quickly share out, Peter, from your group.
Yeah, just great discussion about we just need more information both on what funding sources might happen from the federal side, or their matching grants there. It came down to, is there a roadmap of all funding for home visiting that we could develop from state, federal, philanthropy, everybody, so to see where the dollars go. The last point that Gwen made about workforce, and we need to get more information about what the compensation level is for different programs all across the state, so we have an understanding of what we're trying to build from. That's a quick summary. We left a lot of work for staff, which is going to
all right. Yeah, I can share. Peg, do you want to share out a few quick takeaways from ours?
Just that we identified some successful programs, Peg's work with the metro area, the Southern Oregon programs through the Ford Family Foundation and the program in Yamhill County, and identified again a little bit more work for staff.
Great.
And I can wrap it, Beth, just telling people thank you for your time today. We're going to do a lot of work via email because we need to keep the momentum going. So please keep your eyes open for email from Beth and her team. We have to do a doodle poll for our meetings in June, September, and December. So that's going to be in your email box. Follow-ups from today's meeting will be in your email box. So we just have to be able to use email to keep the momentum going. It's very important that we don't lose momentum there. And with that, I'll just thank everybody and turn it back to Beth in case she wants to have any last words.
Nope, just appreciations and apologies for the bumps in the small groups. But yeah, we will be following up because we don't want to lose that momentum. And there's a lot of positive energy today that I really appreciate everyone showing up for. So thank you and enjoy the rest of your day and week.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody.